If you haven't been around a new Grand Cherokee in a while, you might be really surprised when you slide behind the wheel of one. Previous versions of the top Jeep took hits for their excessive fuel consumption and general lack of refinement. But the Grand Cherokee has rebounded in recent years with significant improvements to ride quality, fuel economy, and interior accommodations. Now this one I have here is a 2015 model, but there was two big changes that the 2014 Grand Cherokee came with in 2014. It received a new 8-speed automatic transmission and a very highly economical diesel V6, which is what we have here. Now, as some of you may not know, the Grand Cherokee is also related to its cousin over here, the Dodge Durango, and the Grand Cherokee shares some of the same similar features to the Durango, and the Durango offers a third row seat, which the Grand Cherokee doesn't. But the Grand Cherokee is much more premium, I have to say, over the Durango. Now here's the key fob for the vehicle. You have your lock, unlock to release your tailgate, and then remote engine start as well, and then your panic button too, and then you have your Jeep logo right here. Now I quite like the 18-inch polished aluminum wheels. I'm quite a big fan of those, and I really do like the styling overall of the Grand Cherokee. However, I don't think I would ever get this cashmere exterior color. I think a black or a burgundy red or a white exterior would be a lot better. Now, like I said, it is a cashmere pearl coat exterior color with smart key access on the driver and passenger door, chrome door handles as well, and a beige leather interior, power driver seat with power recline and power lumbar too. Now stepping on into the interior, it's quite refined in here. And to be honest, it kind of reminds me of a Mercedes a little bit inside of here. Now you do have push button ignition, of course. Just put your foot on the brake, hit the button to start. Now of course you do have a full leather wrapped steering wheel. Now like I said, new for the 2014 model year was an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it carries over for the 2015 model year. But basically you're going to go down for drive like this, up for reverse. It kind of takes a little bit to get used to, but overall it's pretty easy to use once you get used to it. And putting it into reverse displays your rear view camera with guidance signs, of course. And you do have manual shiftability via the paddle shifters. And let's go ahead and calm the lights, of course, and the hazards as usual. And the driver and passenger window are fully automatic too. And let's go ahead and pop the hood, take a look at the engine bay. Now you do have heated exterior mirrors too, and of course with LED turn signal indicators. Halogen projector beam headlights with your projector beam fogs too. Now I have to say, I don't know which front end is more aggressive, its cousin the Durango or the Grand Cherokee. Now both are actually pretty aggressive on the front ends in my opinion, and I love when the Grand Cherokee is equipped with the optional LED daytime running lights. They look really great. Now under the hood you're looking at the optional 3-liter V6 diesel engine. Now most Grand Cherokees are going to be equipped with a 3.6-liter V6, which is a very refined powertrain, and then you can go up to a 6.4-liter V8 in the SRT8 model. Now, you're looking at about EPA numbers of 21 in the city and 28 on the highway, which is very impressive for how big this car is, and it gets great gas mileage on this diesel powertrain. Now, pricing of the Grand Cherokee starts at the Laredo, and that starts at $29,395. And then the Limited, which is $36,395. And then you have the Overland, which is $43,195. And the Summit, which is $48,195. And then you have the SRT, which is $64,380. Now, the Grand Cherokee comes well equipped with many standard features, including Bluetooth streaming audio, Bluetooth phone connectivity, automatic climate control, a power driver's seat as well, and a very refined interior with soft touch padding everywhere, of course. Now, some competitors of the Grand Cherokee is sort of in a class of its own, but maybe some competitors to consider are the Toyota 4Runner or the Mercedes-Benz ML. But the Grand Cherokee has a very premium and refined and luxurious interior that the Toyota 4Runner just can't match, but the Mercedes ML can. But the Toyota 4Runner is also great in off-road capabilities, but the Mercedes ML isn't. So, like I said, the Grand Cherokee is really in a class of its own, and it doesn't really have a heavy-duty price tag when it's fully loaded compared to an ML. Now, coming to the rear, I love this new taillight design they introduced on the Grand Cherokee. I'm such a big fan of this taillight design. And it looks much more premium and refined, I have to say. But you do have dual exhaust tips, and then your Eco Diesel badging right there, and then your 4x4 logo. And then you have your limited trim badging right there as well. Then you have a LED third brake light with a rear window wiper and a rear window defroster. You also do have rear parking sensors too. They also do have power windows, power door locks, and power mirrors, of course, chrome door handles, and memory seat settings for 2 people. Now, total vehicle price for this particular Grand Cherokee costs $48,470. And like I said, EPA estimates are looking at 21 in the city and 28 on the highway. Now, the price actually isn't that bad. Now, the Mercedes ML starts at around 50 grand. And it just doesn't have the off-road capabilities like the Grand Cherokee has. Now, you do have your power windows, power door locks, and your power mirrors, of course, and your chrome door handles, and your memory seat settings for 2 people. Alright. And let's go ahead and rev it up. Very nice. Now, build and materials quality is excellent out of the Grand Cherokee. Now, everything is not going to be soft to the touch like, say, a Mercedes. However, for the most part, everything is pretty soft to the touch. Now, you do have a really nice upper door panel, which is nicely padded, and then a soft touch dash too. But in places like these parts right here, the Mercedes ML would have nice padded material, but the Grand Cherokee doesn't. Now, you do have dual zone automatic climate control, and then you have your eco button too. Then you do have your parking sensor button as well. And then here's your temperatures, your fan speeds, of course, front window defroster, your rear window defroster too. Coming down here, you do have a SD card slot, an auxiliary input, a USB port, and a 12-volt power outlet. And you do have a nice little storage cubby right here, and it is lined with felt. And then you do have your cup holders right here. Now, coming to the center console, nicely padded and stitched, of course, lined with felt too. And you will find another 12-volt power outlet down there. Now, coming right here, you do have an auto-dimming rearview mirror and emergency assistance, your sunglass container, garage home link, and a sunroof too. And here's your button for your power tailgate. Nice plush headliner too. Now let's get to the main head unit here. This is Chrysler's Uconnect interface. It's one of the top rated interfaces in the business. I love this infotainment system. I love the simplicity of it. And coming over here, you do have your radio, AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio too. Now coming to your media options over here, you have a USB port, auxiliary input, an SD card slot, as well as Bluetooth streaming audio. And then coming over to these controls over here, you have your heated steering wheel and your heated seats too. And you do have your auto dimming rearview mirror too. And you can also change the climate if you don't want to use the traditional knobs and buttons. You do have touchscreen buttons. And you do have a navigation system. Now it kind of looks a little childish, but the rendering is great and everything. And the simplicity of it is just superb for a daily basis. And you, of course, you can pair your Bluetooth phone. And you do have Uconnect apps, which you can access various apps through the Uconnect system, through your data connection on your smartphone. Now you do also have a Wi-Fi hotspot as well. And of course you can go to apps such as Pandora, iHeartRadio. Love this interface. And then up top here you will have your Fahrenheit and then your digital clock readout too. Now coming to the steering wheel design and the controls, I love the design of it. I've just always been a big fan of this design of the Chrysler products in the recent years. And then you have your since 1941 badging right there. And then coming to these set of buttons over here, you have your cruise control buttons, and this is to control your TFT display in the center screen right there. And then you have some buttons on the back of this side and this side as well, and that's to control your Uconnect interface. And then you have your Bluetooth and your voice recognition too. And these buttons right here would actually be for your lane departure warning or blind spot monitoring if you got those options. So coming to your main TFT display right here, this basically shows all your vehicle information too. But the rendering of it is really good. It shows your fuel economy data, of course, your tire pressure monitoring, all that good stuff. And then you have your digital speedometer too. And then it can read out your text messages and what radio station you're on. So basic stuff here, but the rendering and the graphics of it is pretty good, top notch here. Now as far as the roominess of the cabin goes, I think it's decently sized. It's about the size of an ML inside of here, but the Durango is definitely going to be a little bit bigger as far as the airiness and the overall cabin feel of it. It's just going to feel a little bit bigger. But it's definitely perfect for a family of 4 or 5. Now coming to your seats, I'm not really a big fan of these seats. I love the headrests. They're nicely cushioned, but the bolstering on the seats are just pretty terrible. And I don't really have really good thigh support either. It's probably one of my only complaints about the Grand Cherokee overall, which is not really that bad. Now the handling and the ride of the Grand Cherokee, the ride is very supple, it's very compliant, very absorbent too, rides pretty well. Now the handling, it doesn't handle as well as say a Porsche Cayenne or a BMW X5. However, when you get the SRT model, that is a joy to drive, I have to say. Now visibility out of the Grand Cherokee is pretty good given as a whole. The mirrors do show quite a lot, and then it is pretty easy to see out of. Thank God you do have that rear view camera though too. Now down here you do have different driver selectable modes. You have a snow mode, a sand mode, and an automatic mode, and a mud mode and a rock mode. And then it tells you what mode you're on, of course, up here. So pretty neat. And you also do have downhill assist control too. Alright, and let's go ahead and shut down the Grand Cherokee. Let's go ahead and check out the rear seat space as well as the trunk capacity. And let's go ahead and pop the tailgate. And build and materials quality does follow through in the rear, something you couldn't say about Chrysler products in the past. Second row reclining seats as well. Now sitting back here, I do have one gripe. I am lacking quite a bit of thigh support, but the seats themselves are decently padded, I have to say. You have cup holders with a rear center armrest too, rear air vents, heated seats back here, and two USB ports back here. Quite surprising about that. And you do have a 115 volt power outlet back here. And of course you do have dual mat pockets. But like I said, the overall interior dimensions is kind of the size of a Mercedes ML. But if you're looking for that third row seating option, you might want to go with the Durango if you have a bigger size family. But overall, the seats are pretty comfortable. I'm just lacking a little bit of thigh support. Now coming back here, you do have a decent amount of cargo space, but like I said, a third row seating option is not available. Now you do have a 12 volt power outlet, of course, and the rear seats do fold down to maximize cargo room. And you do have a nice cargo cover right here. Full powered passenger seat with power lumbar and power recline. Your glove box compartment, lined with felt, nice and damp too. Very high quality. Alrighty. So overall, if you want a mid-size SUV that does a little bit of everything and also has a pretty premium feel too, the 2015 Grand Cherokee is very tough to beat. Its well-trimmed cabin is very comfy for 5, and it's one of the few remaining utility vehicles that can really handle both off-road trails and daily commutes. And not to mention, it has a pretty wide range of powertrains available too. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.